Welcome to the UK Niner podcast, part of the Across the Pond Sports Network. Now, here are your hosts, Matt Walker and Neil Baldaw.
Here we go again. We're back for episode 10 has arrived. We've done 10 of these now. Neil, this is crazy. And to celebrate, we sent Neil to Las Vegas.
That's right. Yeah, that's the reason why. I was kind of like, it was an early morning this morning, and I'm kind of like feeling that hyper adrenaline, keeping me awake kind of vibe right now. I was kind of going with the music a little bit there. It was kind of fun. But yeah, I'm in Vegas to see my brother. But yeah, good to see you, Matt. How's it going?
Yeah. It's going very well, and I say, we had a little chat before we started recording, and you do seem wired, mate. Plenty of airline coffee?
No, not too much coffee, a bit of Coke, but it was all good. It was fun. It was a good trip.
Excellent. Well, fresh off the back of last week's epic with Lee Gowland, the president of the 49er Faithful UK, we just had a blast on that. And like, I rewatched it back, and I, as you said on the show last week, we just listened to him forever and his experiences and what he's done for the 49ers fan club in the UK is just incredible. So we look to build off that, and thank you if you're watching and tuning in again into episode 10 based on the back of that. And if you've looked back on our first 9 episodes, we thank you and just keep putting us out there, because we're loving doing this, and we just want to try and bring this stuff to you guys as we can. And you can see how committed we are, because literally, Neil, how long ago did you land in Vegas?
I got here about 10:30, but I got into the room about 25 minutes ago. So it's I was actually scouting out spots to do it other than the room, which would have been probably more interesting. But I'm glad to have some air-conditioned comfort. So yeah, good stuff.
And I saw your view over the strip before we went on. I know you can't move your camera now, but that's a hell of a view from your hotel room, bud. Yeah,
catching a bit of the Bellagio fountains, the Sphere, and yeah, it's pretty nice. It's going to be, I think it's going to hit 34 in your money here today. So yeah, nice and warm.
Good stuff. Right. So what have we got coming up today? Well, we've got all the usual goodness for you. We've got Niner Nuggets. We've got a special section on Vegas, baby. And that's the title of this podcast as well, in honor of where Neil's located. Then we've got a halftime competition. Well, it's not really a competition because we've had time to plan this, haven't we, together? So that'll be an interesting one. A little bit of a fashion tip today. Then we hit on the 80th anniversary. We've looked at the all-time defense. We've looked at all-time offense. So we're going to put it all together, and we've got a bracket created to try and pick up what is the best Niners team of all time. And there's been some crackers. And then we finish off roster breakdown time again, and we're going to have a look at the QBs this week. So I think, Neil, are we about ready to go?
Let's do it.
Here we go then. You know what's coming first, people. Oh, you know what's coming first, Neil. I forgot.
Name that Niner.
I'll have to get close to the phone, Matt. I'm going to be struggling to see this one.
Well, I'll read them out to you. You thought you were getting away with that. Here's this week's Name That Niner for you, Neil.
Let's do it.
Okay. Can you see that all right?
Yeah. Niners, Raiders, Jets, Chiefs, Niners. Oh, back with the Niners.
Well, look at the bottom. He played for both teams in 95.
95. Man. My tired brain is not working. Let me think. 81. So that's that. Okay, 81. 90. So Super Bowls. The Raiders.
He's an all-time great.
We talking...
Do you want to go offense or defense first? Which way are you sliding?
Defense.
Yep.
We're talking Lott.
We are talking Ronnie Lott. Yeah, we're talking Ronnie Lott. And again, it was that little bit at the end. I knew the Raiders, I knew the Jets. I remember him going to the Chiefs, and that was back when the Chiefs didn't really mean anything to the Niners. Okay, they'd got Montana and one thing, but we weren't bothered about the Chiefs then. But that little Niners bit at the end where it got played both teams in 95. I don't remember him being back on the Niners in 95. But maybe my source is dodgy. But yeah, there you go. I thought you'd be a bit jet lagged or a bit tired, so I didn't want to give you one that was too tricky today. But you've hit Lott again. I think you're 3 for 3.
Yeah, not too bad. The Jets one nearly caught me out. I can't remember him playing for the Jets, to be honest with you. But yeah.
Well, not to give too much away. There's been a couple of guys from us that have kind of gone Raiders, Jets. I think Roger Craig didn't he as well?
Yeah, maybe.
Or Vikings as well. Anyway, well, that's for another time. That's for another time. Good work, my man. Right, let's push on.
First quarter.
I'm going to retitle this segment. It was Niner Nuggets, but I'm going to retitle it Neil's Niner Nuggets, just for the triple N, for the trifecta. That's what's coming in future weeks. So hit us up, Neil. What's the news this week from Ninerland?
Yeah, you let us know about Jim Tom Sula, so ex-Niners coach. He's now the president of the American Football League Europe. So the AFLE. So yeah, he began his career back in NFL Europe and then went to the Niners in, I think, 2015. And then I didn't realize this, but yeah, he'd won back-to-back championships with Ryan Fire, but now he's back as the president. So interesting. Any thoughts on that?
Well, I know a little bit about it because obviously the AFLE is the league that I currently commentate on, and it's just basically it's a brand new league. We had the ELF, the European League of Football, last year, and then that kind of split into two. It financially didn't work; things didn't work out, and they're split now into two different leagues, basically. And Tom Sula, the Rhine Fire, he's still obviously got those connections. They are in the AFLE, so no doubt he was almost like a legend in around the Rhine area and that establishment. So they will always welcome him back with open arms in that organization. And what he has done for European football and the way he's brought the Rhine Fire, the perennial Rhine Fire for European championships, he's really suited to that level of football, and his personality is. His passion for it is just perfect for the European scene, particularly in Germany, where football is so big. So yeah, I think that's a good marketing tool by the AFLE, and I think it'll only go from strength to strength. Hopefully, that there's a thought process to say if we've got two leagues, you're kind of diluting the league, and therefore you're not building the European game together as it should be. And both these leagues now are competing. There are 8 teams in both leagues, I believe. So it's much more diluted than it was with the sort of 16 teams there were previously. But hey, European football has struggled to get a foothold from a professional point of view for a long time. But around we mentioned about the Air Force bases, and it's the Germany itself is the hotbed of football in Europe.
Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, I'll have to look more into it, and of this, maybe we can talk about it a bit on this podcast. It sounds interesting. Sounds good. But yeah, and then they announced the 2027 NFL draft location as well. So it was here, obviously, a few years ago. But yeah, it looks like it's going to Washington, D.C. So April 29th and May 1st. Looks like a big event. And yeah, so I think they broke the record last year at Pittsburgh, I think, for their attendance, and they're going to try and beat it again. So I think it's going year after year. The draft is getting bigger and bigger, more and more social media. And I think, yeah, good stuff. But yeah, back to DC for the draft.
I like the way it moves around now, where it used to just be static. I like the fact it moves from city to city, giving fans an opportunity. I'm just wondering, is it going to be in Trump's ballroom? Is it going to be in the new reflecting pool? Is it going to be, where is it going to be? Is it going to be on his lawn? Is Trump going to be involved? Is he going to be reading out the first overall pick? I think he should read out Mr. Irrelevant, personally, because anyway, let's not go political. But yeah, really interesting to see it going to the nation's capital. And no doubt there'll be another good event because, like you say, that's what the NFL are. The NFL is an entertainment business, and the NFL draft now year on year is becoming a real piece of entertainment, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what you say. I think what you say is absolutely right. Like going around the country now, all these new fans get to go who've never been before. And they're just like, it's just generating huge interest. So yeah, it sounds good. And yeah, ready for some Kittle watch?
Oh, we love a bit of Kittle watch. Of course we do.
Let's do it. So first of all, tight end U. That was crazy. I was watching a lot of the footage from his tight end university. Really enjoyed it. I don't do any pictures or anything, but that's going strength to strength. I would love to go next year. It looks absolutely crazy. He was really like chatting well with all the social media guys. And he rolled into a concert, and then Taylor Swift appears on it. And it looked like a lot of fun. But yeah, the good thing was there, like Purdy was there, Mac Jones was there, Juice was there, throwing the balls around for the guys and everything. And yeah, there's lots of good comments coming back from the camp. Lots of good news from like Matt Evans and Kirk and stuff. So yeah, I think it was like a really strong event that's going strength to strength as well, and now open to the public.
Not to put you on the spot, where do they hold that? Is it Vandy? Is it Vanderbilt they hold that?
Yeah, I think it was this year. Yeah. I don't know if that's just because of this year it was new, or I'm not really sure, but yeah, I think it's going to become obviously a thing. But the amount of fans Kittle's got, man, it's going to be crazy.
Well, it's Kittle, Kelsey, and Greg Olsen, isn't it? Who the founders? Did you see the found? Actually, they all registered, didn't they? I saw some footage of them kind of registering, and there was like it was almost like you're going to college, to uni for the first time, and they've got all the stalls set out, and I think sponsored by Reese's this year, where the chocolate bars are available. But so like you say, again, Kittle feeding off the back of the NFL being an entertainment business, and we won't get into the debates about whether it is a sport or an entertainment business now. We as purists obviously still think it is a sport and nothing's rigged. At the same time, the NFL are going to love the fact that George Kittle and the boys are marketing another event during the offseason as well, which is proving so popular.
Yeah, absolutely. And then he has his shout out as well. So I think you've got a little graphic to pop up. He's reignited the debate about the grass field. So there, he's like statement released by the NFLPA. Kittle's made it clear that he thinks if we can put grass field in for the World Cup, why not do it for the NFL? So yeah.
And again, I don't know how well you can read that, Neil, but just verbatim for what Kittle said, we know it's better on our bodies, and clearly we know it's possible based on everything that went into putting grass down for the World Cup. At this point, it comes down to the NFL making it a priority and choosing to invest in us as players because our bodies are our business, which they get to capitalize on. So, Kittle's never afraid of speaking his mind, and I think he's got a valid point, hasn't he?
He has. I mean, you've seen the quality of the football, right? I played over here during the World Cup, the quality of the pitches. Maybe they can do it. It'll be interesting. But I think it's a good thing. I think it's clearly what the players want. So let's see if they can support them.
I tell you what is interesting, though, Neil. Obviously, ordinarily during the NFL season, there's questions around the MetLife turf. There's still questions around the MetLife grass.
That's true. Yeah. A little bit. So, I was reading the other day, the Nottingham Forest groundsman, I think he's at Houston doing their turf. Okay. It's their field. So, they've bought people over. Maybe they got the wrong guy at MetLife. We'll see.
Well, England played Panama there last night, and I heard on commentary they were saying something about on the UK commentary. They were saying, "Oh yeah, the turf's not great, but they've had people test it. They've tested it to make sure it rolls true." And somebody went, "Who's tested it? Have players tested it, or somebody in a suit tested it? How do we know that this is actually?" So there's always going to be issues around that MetLife turf, but grass will be safer even if it's not great grass over the MetLife turf of old. Yeah, especially for those ACL things and those kind of those lateral movement stuff, there's damage stuff. So and then Mac Jones has been talking about him as well because he's been banded around as probably the most tradable backup quarterback, but sounds like he's really happy. Sounds like he's really happy going into the second year with the team. He's knows the playbook. He knows he knows everything that's going on. And he just seems to be really confident, really settled. And I think that's why we'll talk about it later when we talk quarterbacks. But I think it's probably why we've got one of the best quarterback rooms in the league right now. Yeah, I agree as well. And I don't want to dip in too much, like you say, on our fourth quarter topic. But they're talking about if Curtis Rourke flashes, then maybe Mac Jones is expendable and we can build draft capital. Anyway, that's for another segment. But yeah, good stuff. Jerry Rice then on Sanders, on Dion. Yeah, there was an interesting thing. I kind of stumbled across it, but he was talking to I guess it's at in Oregon, I guess it's Nike's opening finals where they talk to the top 100, 120 best high school players. And it was just interesting how he was talking about in practice between him and when Deion Sanders came over for that 1 year and how all the players would go and watch him. It was a highlight within within the practice itself. And they were really going and watching it and how they went at it full tilt every time. They didn't take it easy on him in practice, and it kind of pays off. And I think he's just talking to the standards that you need to set to if you want to make it far in this game. I didn't see this particular thing this week, but I remember on one of the I don't know if it was an America's Game documentary or some documentary way back when Sanders came over, he was the absolute antithesis of everything that Jerry Rice was. Jerry Rice was this work ethic, first out on the field, last away at practice, work hard, train hard, running the hill that they used to run and take all the teammates up. And Dion was this flashy marketing. I'm all about the parties, the nightlife. And I know when Dion first got there, I know Jerry and Dion really butted heads because they had done before when Niners played Falcons. And, there's a really famous kind of scene when Dion's kind of calling Jerry out. And And, they both won their own battles, didn't they? They were successful against each other.
They were.
But we mentioned about iron sharpening iron. And when you get those two on the same team, on the same field, that's why that 94 team was so good, because Rice wouldn't want to get beaten by this cocky, brash upstart cornerback, and Dion obviously wants to put Rice in his place just because he's Dion. So that's why they were so good in that 94 season.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, if only with his, I don't know, maybe there's any practice tape out there, not to see it. I don't know if there's anything on YouTube, but yeah, just hear him talk about it was amazing. And then, then just to round off, I guess, Pete Prisco, CBS, he dropped his top 100 this week. 6 Niners made the selection. So Fred Warner led the way at number 16, McCaffrey at 19, Trent in at 25, Kittle 49, and then Purdy 75, and then Bosa 94. Obviously, you'd expect him to be a bit higher, but with his injury, it's where he is. So, but yeah, pretty good. Warner was ranked the NFL's top off-the-ball linebacker, with McCaffrey the number 2 running back. So still pretty good. Like we said, they are all aging a little bit, but obviously they're still respected and still got the talent to hopefully take us to another Super Bowl.
How do you take this then? Bosa was out for the majority of the year. Warner wasn't far off either. And they're both in the top 100. And Warner being ranked the top off-ball linebacker for missing half the year. But
there you go.
Is that a respect thing just on the name, or is that what he did prior to the injury in that one season? That's why sometimes I wonder about these top 100s. Is it your name and what you've done as a legacy, or is it what you've accomplished during that year? Because, as much as I love Bosa and Warner, I'm hard pushed to put Warner in there, well, either of them, when they've missed so much time.
Yeah, and I think that goes to all of these lists, right? You're kind of looking back, what were they doing? What were they doing when they get injured? And then you also maybe ranking them against other people in their position. I mean, clearly, Fred is clearly the best linebacker in the league, in my opinion. Even coming back, you probably still think he's that way, but then maybe they just want to see Bosa, see where he's matching up against the other DNs at the time. So who knows? But yeah, he's probably a bit of both, to be fair. And it gets people like us talking about it as well.
It does, and you always love to, like when Pro Bowl ranking comes out at the end of the year, you love to see as many Niners in there as you can. And I don't care if they're not doing anything. If the Niners are in there, then all well and good. The more the merrier. Hey, that's a heck of a segment again for Neil's Niner Nuggets, the newly christened. So great work on that, bud. And I can't imagine what we're going to talk about during the season if we talk about all this in June.
Lock is in for 3 hours a session. It's going to be busy.
Here we go then. End of the first quarter has arrived, which means
second quarter.
So Neil has made his way to Vegas. So not that we want to turn into anything condoning gambling or betting, but we kind of thought, well, this is all on you. I say we, the royal we. You had a really good idea about you're in Vegas. Let's have a look at the odds on MVPs, offensive player of the year, et cetera, and even Mr. Irrelevant, maybe. Go on, go for it.
Yeah, so it's just kind of interesting. Obviously, I'm here. I was having a look at the apps, having a look, see what the odds are on certain things. And like I said, let's not bring in the odds, but I thought it'd be interesting to see where the market has who thinks going to win what kind of award, whether it be MVP, offensive player of the year, what kind of thing. But then also where the highest 49er is. So MVP, start off with that one. So the top 3 is going to be Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Pat Mahomes. Surprised kind of Stafford wasn't kind of in there. They're expecting Stafford to push hard. But pleasantly surprised as well to see Purdy. He was there at number 11 in the rankings for MVP. So kind of a bit of respect on his name. But yeah, Allen, Jackson, and Mahomes. Any thoughts on that?
Well, they're kind of safe bets, aren't they? If you kind of go, oh, who's it likely to be? And those guys are always going to perform. Interesting to see how Pat Mahomes comes back after his ACL. Just out of interest, you put Purdy down there at 11, which, like you say, is really good. Were 4 to 10 all QBs as well? Were there any sort of non-QB players in there?
Honestly, mate, I kind of knocked him out. I can't remember.
That's
been a couple of days since I've done this, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna. But you're right. I mean, these are all off. Usually it's going to be quarterbacks for MVP, right? That's how it goes. Then offensive player of the year, we'll talk about now. That's where you usually pivot towards your running backs and then your receivers. So talking of that, it's Gibbs from the Lions is the favorite right now. Bijan Robinson from the Falcons, who honestly, I think I would put my money on. I think he's going to have a huge year this year, and I think that's going to be a tricky game for us when we go there. Jamar Chase from the Bengals, and then McCaffrey's the highest ranked Ryder, the 7th favorite to win the Offensive Player of the Year. So, but like I said, that's usually where we pivot away from the quarterbacks in that game.
And again, just looking at those, it's the first time I've looked at these, when you sent them through to me. Again, just like with the MVPs, they're pretty safe bets. Jahmyr Gibbs is prolific in that Lions offense, particularly now he's lost his partner in crime and he's going to be the feature back. Bijan, I agree with you. Bijan is going to be a nightmare. And incidentally, that's the watch party. That's the official 49ers London watch party that I'm going to get down to. So that could be a long night in London, but I think Bijan Robinson will cause all sorts of problems. Jamar Chase, you think about receivers out there, he's probably still the number one. If that offensive line can protect Joe Burrow and the offense can start clicking again and Joe Burrow can stay healthy. CMC, I think it largely depends, CMC, in how much Kyle utilizes him. We talked about Ed McCaffrey last week, wanting him to just, you use your best players. This is the NFL. You've got to win. And Christian McCaffrey is the best player the Niners have got at that position, even though he's aging. So, his stock may rise depending on whether or not he gets split carries with the likes of Kalen Black et al. So, offensive player of the year I can see there. But again, certain players have breakout years, don't they? I mean, no Saquon in there. He's still got to be a good shout. You look at kind of Jackson Dart maybe coming with if Cam Scatterbo can stay healthy, what sort of season's he going to have? But again, we could go on and on with this, but pretty safe, those three or four.
Yeah, I agree. And then flipping over to the defense, the one name I didn't want to see, but everybody expects now, and I suspect there's a lot of money going on this guy, and that's probably why, but Myles Garrett from the Rams is the favorite to get Defensive Player of the Year. Parsons, Crosby round out the top 3 with Bosa coming in at 6. So, this is one of the things as well. Obviously, is influenced where the money is going. But again, they're all safe picks. But Bosa being that high, I was surprised, honestly. We'll see where he comes back from his injury. Obviously, they're all players that go after the quarterback. They're all kind of the big names. So, if one of these guys pulls out a big season, they're probably going to get it.
Man, my take on that is if Myles Garrett can win Defensive Player of the Year in Cleveland, then he's got a hell of a chance of winning it in LA.
That's true.
With everybody else around him that's going to just take eyes away from Myles Garrett, with all due respect to those Cleveland Browns, he was pretty much the focal point and everybody game planned for him. He's still disrupted. Now, if you've got a game plan for other people around Myles Garrett, particularly if Aaron Donald does end up coming back, and, then, I think Myles Garrett is unless anything out of the ordinary happens, that's a pretty good bet up there. Max Crosby at 3. I'd like to see that Las Vegas Raiders change for a Niners, but that seems to have gone quiet of late. And said last week we can't really afford him, looking down the line, and but that would be a nice fairy tale. And I agree with you. Who knows what Bosa is going to be like coming off his 3rd ACL this year. And again, I think that all depends on how Michael Williams plays and the D line and whether Fred and Dre gel. So interesting, but again, nice to see these Niners being given recognition.
Yeah, absolutely. And then these next 2 categories I found the most interesting. So we've got Comeback Player of the Year and Coach of the Year. So for comeback, Pat Mahomes, obviously, he's one of the favorites at MVP. But if he wins that, he's probably not going to get the Comeback Player of the Year as well. But then Jaden Daniels, and then Kyler Murray over at the Vikings now. So obviously, we know him well from the NFC West days. And then Fred Warner is tied at 7th. And I think that might be might worth a pretty penny while I'm here, because he's going to come back full speed. And, he was on for probably Defensive Player of the Year last year before he got injured. So, he could be a good one for Comeback Player of the Year.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, I'm going to throw old Kittle in there. You see Kittle running around at tight end? He looks in good shape, to say it's only 6 months removed from that Achilles injury. And obviously you don't want to push it too much, but he seems to be moving really freely. I know contact's another different ball game when that starts happening, but could George be in there for Comeback Player of the Year, even though, it was the playoffs when we lost him, so it wasn't even entire season. But I reckon, mate, if you're going to put some money on Fred, I think stick $10 on for me as well.
No worries, man. I'll do it. And then Coach of the Year kind of was interesting, not because of the top 3, which we'll go through, but John Harbaugh for the Giants. We mentioned the quarterback earlier. Jesse Minter for the Baltimore Ravens. That goes hand in hand with Jackson for the MVP. But then Robert Saleh at the Titans. So there's a 9 name. But I think the one that surprised me, Shanahan, was all the way down at 18th, tied 18th, ranked like as a favorite for coach of the year. And many people thought he may have won it last year with how he did with all the injuries. And I honestly think unless he gets the Super Bowl, he's never going to be anywhere near this award forever. So that was a surprise to me seeing him so low.
Yeah, I'm with you. Unfortunately, we talk about legacy and we said before, me and you on here, can he win the big one? And for all the good he's done in San Francisco and for all the good he did in Atlanta as well as offensive coordinator and wherever else he's been, he's an offensive genius. We know he is, but that 28-3 debacle against the Patriots in the Super Bowl, that'll always stick with him. Every time he blows a lead, the 2 leads we've lost in the Super Bowl, there's always going to be that question mark on him. So yeah, I can understand that disrespect, but at the same time, to say that ever since we've been with us, we've been with him rather, he's been with us, him and John, we've been perennial contenders for the last 8-9 years. And that's not easy to do in this league. You look at those 3 coaches above there. John Harbaugh goes into a really good situation with the Giants. Now, obviously, with Jackson Dart, I mentioned earlier, Scatterbo coming back, the defense looks really good as well. That's a good position for a quality coach like Harbaugh to be in. Again, Jesse Minter, you mentioned about Lamar Jackson. He's inheriting a really stacked roster still with the Baltimore Ravens, as is Robert Saleh, that Tennessee Titans team. I think they're good. They're going to be coming from almost worst to first possibilities, with the Titans in that old Houston Oilers color scheme that they've kind of reinvented. 3 good ones to go in there and keep an eye on. I agree with that.
Yeah. And then just round it out. But long story short, favorites for the NFC is Rams, Seahawks, Niners with a 3rd favorite. And as far as the Super Bowl goes, we're looking at the Rams are the favorites right now. Ravens are the 2nd favorite. Bills, a 3rd. And then the Niners are not too unrespectable 8th. So we're currently the 8th favorite for the Super Bowl. And when you think about 2 of the teams above us are going to be the Rams and the Seahawks, that just speaks to the strength of that division we're trying to fight for.
It really does. Just reading what you put down, did you say the Niners are number 3 in the NFC or just the NFC West?
Just NFC West. Just NFC West.
Okay,
but they were like, I think they were like maybe 4th though in the NFC to win the NFC. I mean, it's crazy. Like that NFC West is so stacked right now. It's just off the charts.
We mentioned this before, I think, in a previous pod. I can't think of many other teams, if any, other than the Seahawks and the Rams in the NFC that I think are better than us, really. Be hard pushed.
I agree. I was watching a segment on ESPN just yesterday, and they said if the Niners were any other division in the NFC, they'd be favorites to win the division. And right now, we're the 3rd favorites in the NFC West, which is pretty crazy.
It is. It's bonkers. It is bonkers. But hey, makes for some good football. And I look forward to every season. But I think sometimes when we are sort of disrespected in that way and we're put, almost put in a corner, if you like, I think that's when we play our best football. So I'm hoping that's going to be the case again this year.
Me too.
Good stuff, mate. Really good. Right. I'm going to keep you for a little bit longer before you go and blow all your money there in Vegas. So let's take a breather and let's head to
halftime.
Okay, then. So what we'll do here, you have provided us with, we're going to do a halftime sneaker ranking. Kicks, sneakers, trainers, call them what you will. They're all the ones that you've offered 10 different 49ers footwear. I'll pop them up in the order that you've given me them. So kind of, you can see our planning document. So number 1 is going to be the Pegasus 49. And then I've ordered them. I'm hoping you have as well. And you can tell us when we both put them both and we'll see how we compare. Is that all right with you?
Well, I can tell you what, the order that I put them on are the order I ranked them.
Oh, got you.
So you can just tell me if you agree with me or not. There we go. It's ready to go.
Right. So I'm going to show the viewers as well then. So number 1, your favorite then. Oh, as if I've not got that on there. Have I not got that? Oh, yes, I have. So your favorite is this one. Here it comes.
Here we go.
Is that right?
Pegasus 49.
Pegasus 49 at number 1.
Yeah, okay. I like that one. I like that one a lot.
Okay. I've got it at 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of lent away from the the red shoes, you'll see. I mean, I have both of the red shoes, and I don't really like them. I look like Ronald McDonald, so I kind of like the black. I kind of trend towards the black, but yeah, this was a good shoe. Yeah, I like this one. I got this one. This is a good one. It's one of my favorites. I wear it a lot still. It looks sharp. Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, so I got that one as well. I mean, obviously, I'm a PE teacher, so I wear my trainers for work as well. So they last about 8-9 months, and then they're just worn out. And I really did like that one when it first arrived. But there are others that I prefer. Right, your number 2 was this.
Yeah, the Rivalries one. I tried to buy that one. Where's it gone? The Rivalries one I thought was so nice, but yeah, I couldn't get hold of it. It sold out before I could get it, and StockX was charging too much. But I still go back and check every now and again. But I think I'll end up this in my collection one day.
Man, I put this at 8.
Ooh.
And I put it at 8. I put it at 8 because number one, I was never really a massive fan of the Air Max 90s, and then I think it's really difficult on a trainer to get a gold that looks gold. And for me, that gold on there looks more mustard than gold, and it kind of almost says to me Chiefs yellowy gold than
yeah,
Niners.
maybe it looks better in person, Matt. Maybe it looks better in person. I'll let you know when I get a pair.
Yeah, I've never seen them in person, so maybe that is the case. Okay, so your number 3 was this one.
Yeah, I have these. I wear these all the time still. Like, yeah, quality. I like the way it goes. It goes from the white and the red, and then the black at the front. Keeps them looking cleaner. Keeps them looking fresh, and yeah, good stuff.
Too much going on. Too much going on for me on these. I think so. What are they? They're the 38s, yeah.
38s, yeah.
So I had these 38s down at 7 just because it kind of is just it doesn't really know what it's doing. Like you say, there's a bit of gold, there's a bit of red, there's the black and the white, and it's just a little bit of a patchwork quilt for me. But again, you know, I'm not. My opinion. I'm not saying you're wrong at all, Neil. You know, we that's the freedom of speech that we own. But okay, so you've got those at number 3, yeah.
Yep.
So then your number 4s are these beauties, and I must say, you know, the 37s.
I like these.
I put these at number 2. I think
these are
clean.
They're so clean. I don't have these. I never bought these ones. I wish I had, because they are clean. They look sharp.
They really do. I never got these either, but yeah, like I say, that it's nice and basic. Just 3 colors on there: the red, the gold, the white. Nice accent. You've got to love a white trainer anyway. Other than it doesn't wear very well, you know, over time. But yeah, so I'm a big fan of those 37s. They were a number 2 for me. Okay, then we went with these, and I must say, Neil, I am disappointed. As if
I threw these in a bit as a curveball because 2 reasons: man. 1, they're available, and 2, they're cheap. I was like, you know what? I think they're like $60. I think, you know what? I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll get a pair of slides. And I can still get them. But honestly, I don't think I would. I mean, I'll just throw them in there.
Mate, there's a reason they're available and cheap. On my top 10, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to try and show you this. But on my top 10, let's try and get it in front of the camera.
They're bottom, aren't they?
You probably won't see. They're not just bottom. I put them at 100. They're not number 10. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then number 100 are the calms. Yeah, not do nothing for me at all. But I'm disgusted that they're number 5 for you, my friend. But anyway, hey, like I say, each to their own.
Hey.
I'm not going to judge. Here's the next ones. So you've now gone with the 36s.
Yeah, I think this is not the first Niner shoe. I think they're coming up later, the Speed Train 4s. But these were the first of the Pegasus ones, I do believe. Yeah. These are nice as well. I didn't get these either, but these are good. Did you have these?
Yeah, I got these. Yeah. I think these. Yeah, I love the kind of the red, and it's like a mesh almost, isn't it? The red and the black mesh on the actual outer sole. Again, it's nice that there's just the 3 colors. The gold was proper gold as well on that swoosh. It was proper gold. It wasn't mustardy. It wasn't yellowy. I put these 36s at number 3 on my list. Yeah, really a big fan of these ones. Right, then the next ones you've got on there are these. Now I'm going to put, yeah, here we go. Here we go. Let's just get rid of those and bring these up. So next are the 41s.
Yep. The
And
current,
these,
well, the most current ones, right?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Because there are two different ones. Because like you say, we had a look. Because I've had both these. These are the current ones that I've got wear right now. And then the other 41s, very similar. The SF logo is kind of towards the front of the toe. There's not the gold on there. Here's the previous 41s right there. There's no yellow in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, so they're very, very similar. But I'm a big fan. I like the red trainer. They really pop for me. I haven't got size 86 feet, so I don't look like Ronald McDonald. That's the thing. That's a medical issue you need to sort out, mate, rather than a style issue on the shoe. But I've got these 41s as my favorite.
Oh yeah, I mean I can see it. Yeah, I just don't, for whatever reason, the red shoes just don't suit me. So I just don't. I have you'll see the next one, number 8, the 39s. I just don't wear them. I just don't wear them at all. I just, maybe if I was going to a game, maybe that's the only time I'd break them out. But yeah, it's all good, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's get rid of those and bring in those 39s. They're the 39s. So I've got these 39s at number 6. You've got them in 8. So that's about as close as we've got so far. And the reason I don't like these, I don't know why. I'm just not a fan of the empty swoosh. I need that swoosh to be full color on the red.
Yeah, this was honestly, I've got too many shoes. You can ask Valerie, and these are probably my least worn shoe I have. I don't know why. I just don't like them at all. But I bought them. It's one of the things you see them drop, right? And you go, I'm having them. And you get them. You're like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was okay.
Love it. Okay. Then you've gone for these. Oh, hello. Oh, dear. Where are you? I've just taken you off. Let's bring you. Sorry, Neil. Just took you off the screen. I'm really sorry. Anyway, then we had these monstrosities.
Yeah, what were they thinking?
We both got those at 9.
Yeah, that's a rough looking shoe. I don't know. I went back. I was trying to find it, like where they were. It felt like they were like on sale, like at local sport outlets in San Francisco. These are kind of an old shoe as well. So, but yeah, that's I don't know.
Nothing about it looks right.
I'm not going to source any of those, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it almost looks like a bit of a kind of, I don't know, a Swiss cheese with holes in it, and there's the gold kind of, you've dipped your toes in something and then dragged it back out. No, just not feeling that at all. And then the final one on your list, which I'm surprised about actually, knowing how you like your kind of high tops.
Yeah,
the old Diamond Turfs.
The Diamond Turfs, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird. I was looking. A lot of places didn't necessarily say I think these were official Niner shoes, or they were just branded that way when Dion kind of like dropped them.
Yeah.
But and then they've released the Diamond Turf 2s as well. So yeah, I do like my shoes. I do, yeah, some of my back in the day. But
man,
yeah, that arch thing in the middle wasn't my style, and but the Velcro strap's kind of cool though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, I remember me, you, and Andrew balling back in St. Eddie's in the 90s in Litchfield, and we'd take the basketball out there, and we'd have all the I can't remember what sort of basketball shoe now, but the Nike high tops, we'd be rocking those left, right, and center. And when I saw these pop up, I thought, oh, he's going to put these quite high, because that was our sort of thing back in the 90s.
Yeah, the Charles Barkley 180s were the ones that are kind of similar. I used to wear those, but
yeah, you did.
Yeah, this off. So yeah, I would never get him. Not going to buy him. So anyway, there you go.
Fair enough. And I'm really sorry. I just removed from the screen again. I keep removing trainers and removing co-hosts instead. Apologies, schoolboy error. But mate, that was a great little segment. I loved looking back there, and actually, you know, for me, I think you were right. When the NFL first started doing those kind of team issue shoes and we could get hold of them, I was like, oh my God, this is Nike has always been my favorite brand. The 49ers obviously my favorite team. And that combination, when the NFL went from Reebok to Nike, I was just in heaven. And now that we can get access to these, the footwear that we can, and it is that Nike Niners combo, I'm just in heaven with it.
Yeah, and the 42s should drop soon as well. So we'll see what they got for us. Usually they're out by now, I would have thought. Normally mid June they drop. So yeah,
okay,
but, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, really good.
What was your number one?
My number one were the 41s, the current ones.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah. But Love it, love it, love it. Right then, halftime done and dusted. Let's move on to the second half.
Third quarter.
So we're in the third quarter, and this is where we always have been looking back on the 80th anniversary and legacy teams, looking back on so many fond memories. And tonight, we've got a bit of a challenge then. Last week, we looked at the all-time defense with Lee. Week before, we looked at the all-time offense with Paul Hope from the 49er Faithful UK fan club. And tonight, we are going to crown the best 49ers team ever. And here's the bracket we've got to work from. Okay, how can you see that? You all right, man? You got
I'm
it
all good. It's on my tablet over here as well. We're good. We're good to go. I can zoom in.
Okay, cool. Right. Let's go with the first matchup then. Let's go top left because, I mean, all 8 of these teams, they've all got their own merits. But I'll be honest with you, when I did this, I kind of decided quite quick. And also, it's this almost like we did with the offense and the defense. It's kind of, there are certain teams that stick with you and have a fond place in your heart as well. But I suppose if we're trying to see which is the greatest 49ers team ever, so if you're pitting these up against each other and who is going to knock 7 shades of whatever out of the other team, that's maybe kind of what we're going for. Right, let's go 1 versus 8. Those 1989 49ers who won Super Bowl 24 against the 2012 49ers, Neil, who lost against the Ravens in Super Bowl 47.
I'll sum it up. Montana versus Cap. You know who's going to win. Unfortunately, right? I mean, as good as Cap was in that, especially in the championship game, there's only one team winning this, and they're seeded number 1 for a reason.
You put the Niners, you put Joe Montana, and I know that it's a different age of football, but you put Joe Montana in that fourth quarter situation that Kaepernick was in at the end, and Montana wins that game.
Yep.
So we're going, the 89 Niners are going through, and that's for both of us. Okay, let's go down then. Let's go to the other side then. Let's go number 2 against number 7. The 1984 Niners who won Super Bowl 19 against Marino and the Dolphins, against the 1990 49ers who ended up losing the NFC Championship game to the Giants, and that ended their attempt at a three-peat.
Yeah, I'm some of the what I've got down here. It gets confusing looking at these teams because half of the players are the same players. But yeah, right, let's have a look. So, I mean, you're both talking Montana, like you're talking Rice. I mean, not Rice, be Craig. Yeah, so I don't know. So 1990, you got 84. I think I have the 84 Niners winning that one. Absolutely.
I've gone 84 as well. I mean,
yeah,
it's 15-1. Through that season, the postseason, they beat the Giants 21-10 in the divisional game. They beat the Bears 23-0 in the championship game. They beat the Finns 38-16 in the Super Bowl. And unfortunately, as much as that 1990s team was still the team that won Super Bowl 23, that won Super Bowl 24, if you remember, it still haunts me now. The Roger Craig fumble, 2:36 left in the fourth quarter. The Niners were winning 13-12 at that point, and then the Giants go down and kick the field goal to win it. And I generally thought we were going to win a three-peat. I really thought we were going to go all the way in that one. But I think from a 15-1 team, they were just different gravy back then in 84, and I've put those 84 team through as well. So we are 2 for 2 in agreement. 4 against 5. I'll go with this one first, and you do the last one, and then you can, because I don't want you to think I'm just agreeing with you. So 4 against 5, those 88 49ers against the 1992 Niners, Super Bowl 23 winners in 88, and again losing the NFC Championship game in 92, 30-20 against the evil Dallas Cowboys. The 1988 Niners will always have a place in my heart from an emotional point of view because it's the first Super Bowl I watched live. I still can picture me and Mum watching it on the bed at whatever stupid time in the morning it was, and Taylor scoring that touchdown, which is why I played in number 82, etc., etc., etc. And again, I think it comes down to the idea, even though they were 14-2, those 92 Niners, it just comes down to me that when a play needed to be made, even at 10-6, that season for the 88 49ers was so tumultuous. And we looked dead and buried at one stage. We lost to the Raiders 9-3, I think. We lost to the Broncos 10-3. Games like that where we weren't scoring points. But when it mattered, when the postseason hit and when the games mattered, great players aren't great all the time. They're just great when they have to be. That's from America's Game, and that's made me shiver. And that's what the 1988 49ers were all about.
Yeah, I agree, but I went with the 1992 Niners on this one. So it's our first disagreement. I just thought that whole thing with, like, Young, I think that was the Young, Rice, Ricky Watters era. So that was a cool team for me. But I kind of looked at the record as well. I know they're 10-6, kind of like Big, you spoke about that a little bit, overcoming that adversity. But I just feel like the 92 Niners would have their number on this occasion. But again, you're splitting hairs on all of these teams.
You really are.
It was so hard. And this was the hardest one, because you remember 88, that's the one a lot of like people our age really remember really well. But then again, like the 92 one, they had such a good team as well. So yeah, tough one.
You don't get to 14-2 in the National Football League without being a pretty awesome unit, do you? And just glancing at that as a whole, look, seed number 1, 14-2. Seed number 2, 15-1. Seed number 3, 13-3. Seed number 4, 10-6, and they're seed 4. That's interesting. But then 14-2, the 92 Niners. 14-2, the 99ers. The 99ers. The 1990 49ers. 13-3, the 95. We've just been spoiled, mate. We have been spoiled over the years, with a franchise like this.
100%. Yeah, so I think that's the first disagreement. But then again, we're not really disagreeing. We're just choosing a different team.
And I agree with you. The more I think about that, the way you put it, if these two teams were matched up together, then unless Montana and Rice, Montana spots John Candy again and goes, right, there's John Candy. Right, let's go and beat the backside of these 92 Niners. I think they were a more powerful offense, those 92 Niners, But anyway, that's fine, dudes. Then final one, then the 1994 49ers, who won Super Bowl 29. Against the 1981 Niners, where it all began, who beat Cincinnati in Super Bowl 16. I've gone with the 94 Niners just because I think they were just more powerful. It was literally all the eggs in one basket. We talked about it before, the way that literally Dion came in, all the free agents came in. It was the all or bust, all or nothing season. And they literally were just a scoring machine. There was some points scored on them, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But I think if you put that team up against those 81 Niners, even though, remember, the 81 Niners had a real goal line stand in Super Bowl 16, they shut the Bengals out, I think, 4 plays from the 2-yard line. But I still think those Steve Young and those 1994 Niners are taking the original Niners from 81.
No doubt about it. I have the 94 Niners as well. I mean, what a team. The fact, we spoke about it at length. We don't need to talk about it too much, but the whole Sanders thing, Merton Hanks, Ken Norton Jr. spoke about those missing players last week during halftime. Spoke about his team a little bit. Wow, just what a team. Even William Floyd. I mean, you can't remember some of these players were just so good. Yeah, and I think they just get the win. They just get the dub against the 81 Niners.
So for me, it's on the left-hand side of the draw. It's 89 against 88. For you, it's 89 against 92.
Yes.
So I'll go first on this. 89 against 88 for me. 89 against 88. I've gone with the 1989 team, purely because of the fact that that was the Super Bowl 24 winning team. They just destroyed people. They literally just destroyed people. And based on the fact that 1988 team was so flaky, if I look at the postseason for the 1989 team, they beat the Vikings 41-13 in the divisional. They beat the Rams 30-3 in the NFC Championship game. Then the number one offense destroyed the number one defense 55-10 in the Super Bowl against the Broncos. Postseason, they scored 126 points. They conceded 26. And I think if you put in that 1988 team, no matter whether Montana is in the zone or not, for me, the 89 team are going through to the final. You've got 89 against 92. What's your thoughts?
89's winning it, dude. Come on. The same reasons, and probably even more so. Just like we spoke about it before, we don't need to reiterate, but like I said, 89 is number one seed for a reason. And maybe we have to revisit this. Maybe like what would have stopped them? Because that was a team. That really was. And go back and watch YouTube, people, because that was crazy how good they were. It was crazy.
Right. The semi-final from the right-hand side then pits the number 2 seed 84 49ers against the number 3 seed 94 49ers. What do you got on this? You go first.
I have the 84 Niners beating So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I went for the 84 over Steve Young. So let's Montana. For me, it's Montana versus Montana in the final.
Wow, interesting. That is. I've gone for the 94 Niners, based on the fact, again, they were just a scoring juggernaut. And I know the 84 Niners were as well. 131 points in the postseason for the 94 Niners, but they conceded 69. The 1984 Niners, 82 points, so not far off half as few points scored, but equally only conceded 26. So I think it's a bit of a toss of a coin again. And different game, different era, 10 years apart. So I went 94 Niners in there. But again, like we said earlier on, we're splitting hairs. We really are. So let's go with the final. We've both got the 89 Niners on the left, and then we've got the different teams on the right. So you go 89 versus 84 first.
Yeah. So I went with the number 1 seed as the greatest 49ers team of all time is the 1989 49ers.
Okay, and look at that final that you've got there. They've got a combined record of 29-3 in the regular season. That's just madness. That is absolute madness.
Yeah,
so I've gone 89 against. Go on. Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I've gone 89 against 94. Obviously, I picked the Steve Young Montana final, but I can't see past that 1989 team either. You said it 2 or 3 times. They're the number 1 seed for a reason. I've already mentioned they scored 100 more points in the postseason than they conceded. 126-26, 8 All-Pros in that team, 6 Pro Bowlers in that team. I just think that 1989 Nines team, and actually back in 2007, ESPN had them ranked as the number 2 team of all time in the whole NFL. Now, I know we're kind of nearly 20 years ago since that, and there have been some great teams since then. But actually, if you look at the teams we've got on the board there's nobody beyond 2012. And those 2012 Niners, we already know, don't beat the 89 Niners. So I'm pretty confident that number 1 seed on there is right. And I think we've done a really good job justifying of why they're our champion.
I agree. I think we only disagreed on 2 of the results. So, and I think most 49ers fans would pick pretty much along the lines of you or I. I mean, I can't see much difference. But yeah, I mean, but like we said before, what a privilege to have 8 teams like that to choose from.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about splitting hairs, and that then comes down to any given Sunday, doesn't it? It could go one way or the other with all those teams because they're all 8 are quality outfits. But for the fumble by Roger Craig, we could have been a team that three-peated in 1990. Dallas were our bogey team in 1992 or in the 90s. Losing that one 30-20 was the catalyst for us to push everything in for that 1994 season. But yeah, what a bunch of great teams we've witnessed, and hopefully it's not been too bad the last 10 years or so, to be fair.
No, it's not. I mean, it's crazy to think that, yeah, it is. As you said before, we grew up in a time where we were winning everything. You expect to win every year. But still, I mean, still getting into the playoffs now is like a huge deal. And it's like, once you get into the playoffs, anything can happen. We've seen it before. So, yeah, let's hope the quarterbacks, who we'll speak about in a minute, can take us there this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you've mentioned about the quarterbacks. So it's about time then for this.
4th quarter.
The 4th quarter is our roster breakdown segment. It has been for the past few weeks, going well. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's turn our attention then to the QBs. And here is our current QB room as it stands for this season, Neil. And like you said earlier on in the pod, I think it's one of the best in terms of depth in the whole league.
Yeah, I think Purdy, he's firmly established himself as he's not just a starting quarterback, he's franchise caliber now. Everybody knows it. You saw even there, I think he was the 11th favorite for MVP. So he's no question. But when you talk about a quarterback room, it's who's going to step in if there's an injury. And we saw last year how good Mac did coming in and holding his own. And I think we're very lucky to have him. I mean, Shanahan finally got the guy he kind of wanted, we expect. But I think that's a great room. And then we talked about Rourke and Martinez as well. I mean, both developmental quarterbacks, but both on a pretty high trajectory.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. Purdy and Jones, yeah, brilliant. If we can hang on to Mac Jones, then I think you've written in the notes, it's such a luxury to have those two guys where the drop off isn't that great. Now, some people will say, well, what does that say about Brock Purdy? Does that just mean that he's in this Kyle Shanahan system and therefore anybody in a Kyle Shanahan system can be effective? Well, me and you both don't think so. There's smarts that Brock Purdy has and the way he executes, and he extends plays as well that I don't even think Mac Jones can do. Mac Jones is just more of a pure pocket passer, isn't he? Where Purdy can use the athleticism that he has got. The Curtis Rourke, he's coming off an injury, isn't he? That's from college. I think did he have an ACL, Rourke? I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's right.
And like you say, he's really intriguing, and that's why we've heard reports in the last couple of weeks or so where, if they see something that they like in terms of Curtis Rourke in training camp and they kind of think, do you know what, he could be our backup, then maybe Mac Jones does get shipped for some draft capital and maybe another player in a package, maybe for the likes of a Max Crosby. Too much money, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I think the thing about him, I've just got the size here. He's a big guy. He's like 3 inches taller than Purdy. He's a big unit, and I think the thing to rave about with him the most is his toughness and his leadership. So yeah, he's looked like he's certainly on track to becoming a backup quarterback somewhere, and hopefully he makes it as a starter somewhere. But yeah, and then Martinez, he's a bit more of the athletic type. But yeah, realistically, I think Rourke has overtaken Martinez, and so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is though, we just don't. When Jones comes in, we don't have to redesign any offense. We don't have to change anything. It's just the same thing, the same game plan, and I think that's a huge asset to have. And I think it's why this quarterback room ranks so highly, if probably not the best in the NFL as a whole room.
Can you see us going into the season, Purdy 1, Rourke 2, Martinez 3? I think the room then does weaken significantly because the drop off then from with Brock gets hurt to then Rourke coming in as an untested. Although having said that, Brock came in and did the job, But anyway, yeah, it would worry me more if Jones wasn't there, even though, like you say, he could be a starter on any other franchise.
Yeah, I think Jones stays another year. I think it'll take a lot to take for. I think it'll take a lot right now. It'd have to be some playoff caliber team who loses their starting quarterback, who gives up a fair bit for Mac Jones, who still wants to make the playoffs. I'm guessing something that kind of scenario. But I think he stays with us at least another year, and I think Shanahan wants that insurance.
No, that's fair comments. Yeah, I don't disagree, and that will be my hope as well. Absolutely. I like what you've done here. Where do they rank? Where does this room rank then in 49ers history, Neil? You've put them at third behind. You talked me through the two rooms that you think are better than this one, and to be honest, like you say, there aren't many better.
No, and I think remember we're looking at this as a unit, right? It's very easy to see just the quarterback as the one guy, but you got to look at this as a unit. So this as a unit is so Montana Young, clearly number one. I mean, 2 Hall of Famers on the same roster at the same time. And then dropping back a bit more is Young, then Bono, and then Elvis Gerbach. I mean, what a name. He played all right. But then I think this current one, and again, it's because of the caliber of the backup, it comes in probably as the third best room we've had. I just don't think you can say too much about having 2 quarterbacks that can run offense at its efficiency that it does.
And I think you've hit the nail on the head with your overall grade. You've graded the room as an A, but your first line, it's not the flashiest quarterback room, but it's one of the most complete. Yeah, they've got a proven starter and experienced backup, quarterbacks with different skill sets and developmental assets. And yeah, there are very few teams that can match that combination. So yeah, it's promising. Like anything though, all relies on injury as well, doesn't it? And preventing that.
It does, but like I said, if Purdy goes down for a couple of games, like last year, Purdy goes down, we're probably panicking a little bit. But this year, Purdy goes down, a couple of games, we'll be okay. The team will probably, they're probably not over trying so much, and it'll be good. And then, like we said, we're not the Kansas City or Buffalo, right? I get that, but I think this is the caliber of quarterbacks you need to win a Super Bowl. And I think we've got it. And yeah, I think Purdy's just absolutely. I think he's great. I love Purdy.
I do too. I do too. I love him as a
Love it.
player. I love him as the man that we see in the media. Obviously, you don't know what he's genuinely like, but you can't imagine being much different as the humble sort of, he's had to battle all his life to get where he is. He's now not had anything handed to him. He's had to just fight and prove himself time after time. And I think because of that, it's created this lovely human being who is also a very effective NFL quarterback who has already taken us to a Super Bowl.
He has. And I think, and I remember, I mean, people forget, but how good he was playing in the back end of last season. He was flying, absolutely flying. And he was only a couple of seasons removed away from where he was like being talked about possible MVP. I think people forget how good he is. And it's such a short like time span, this league. It's like you're down injured for a few months. It's like, people just move on real quick. But he's so good. He is so good. Yeah, so happy days.
We are both Purdy fans, even if other people will call him a system quarterback, and just the fact that he's with Kyle. And there's an element of that. Kyle is a perfect coach for any quarterback to succeed because again, Garoppolo and people before him, even to the likes of Beathard to a degree, but Nick Mullins had success in that offense, So yeah, Kyle doesn't rely on the quarterback necessarily to make a difference like the likes of Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson might do, but you still have to be an intelligent quarterback to be able to run that system effectively and still make off-schedule plays. And Brock has got all that and more.
Yeah, I love that. I just love that little bit of gunslinger in him. It's kind of cool. He's kind of like Brett Favre light sometimes. I kind of like it. He just kind of goes for it. And I think with Mike Evans, he might go for it a bit more.
Yeah, why not?
It could be a bit
in his
of
area
fireworks.
code.
Yeah.
Just put it in his area code and he'll go up and snag it for a 6. Brilliant, my man. Actually, oh my days, that's an hour again already.
I know. We were trying to rush through this one.
Honestly, smooth as silk. Right, we just got a little bit of time for
Overtime.
And I know it's just because you're in Vegas. So come on then, what's your overtime?
Well, man, it's funny, isn't it? It's like we're here, I'm in Vegas, and we're talking about, I was like, what can I do? And I was like, oh my goodness, like the biggest gamble, probably Trey Lance, right?
Oh man.
Let's be honest. It's like betting the mortgage on a guaranteed, and then it doesn't, and it fails. But then on the way out of the casino, you just throw whatever money you got left on one number on the roulette table, and it hits, and then probably hits another 3 or 4 times. So this is where we ended up with Purdy as Mr. Irrelevant, and yeah, wow. So pretty crazy. Still to think this day is like how that draft has shaped this organization.
Well, that is such a good analogy. That really is, in terms of, and actually at that same time, the Niners fans, Kyle Shanahan, if you're led to believe what the media said, wanted Mac Jones in that draft. And it was Mac Jones or Trey Lance. The Mac Jones, no, he's come from Alabama. He's done all right at Alabama at the big SEC school. But no, Mac Jones he's a dad bod quarterback. He's not, and Trey Lance, Trey Lance has come from an FCS school. Doesn't know any. Oh my days. And then, like you say, walk out the door, bet all on red, not black. It's on red. And Purdy comes in again and again and again. Oh, man, that's a great way to finish episode 10. And long may our luck continue, but we just need a little bit of extra luck, just getting over the precipice to get that 6th Super Bowl title. Neil, it's been an absolute pleasure again, my man. You enjoy Las Vegas. Any last parting words before we bid farewell to the folks on episode 10?
No, I might just put a bit of money on number 16 when I go downstairs and see what happens.
Make sure it's red 16.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I think it is, isn't it? 16 red? Yeah, it is. Yeah.
You know, I don't. I have no idea about roulette, my man. No idea. Anyway, you have a great time out there in Vegas, mate. Stay safe. Say hi to Andrew for me as well.
Will do, mate. Take it easy.
And to the rest of you, thank you ever so much for joining this. Episode 10 has gone in a flash, and we will be back same time next week for episode 11 on the UK Niner podcast, brought to you in association with the Across the Pond Network. Stay safe, have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday.
Later, mate.